talk Kawhi with Vincent Goodwill in a second, but first, Magic Sixers, Jonathan Isaac destroys the rim with a one-handed jam.
Are the Magic going to make the playoffs?
They look good, man. Look, if you're Miami or Detroit or Brooklyn, you got to watch out for them.
This is another one of those lanky players from Florida State. You're watching Florida State in the tournament now. They have a bunch of guys look like that.
Thunder Grizzlies, Steven Adams starts the break. Steal, long pass ahead to Dennis Schroeder, who dishes to Paul George.
Vinny, you told us the one team Golden State kept their eye on was OKC.
And that might be their first round matchup.
Yep, that might be the team they get first in the playoffs. OKC doesn't turn it around, man.
OKC going to be the fire starter to Golden State. They torch the rest of the league.
McDonald's All-American Game dunk contest, Stanford recruit Fran Belibi jumps over a person in a chair for the dunk. First woman to win the dunk contest.
Okay, Fran.
In 2004.
This was really exciting to see. I love it. I love the charisma, spread her legs a little bit like Jordan. Man.
I was going to say that looked like the Jumpman. I was going to say that looks like the logo.
Yeah, okay. Looks like the Jumpman logo. Jenna, I'm just curious. When we showed the gentleman competitors in this contest earlier, you criticized them because the guy they jumped over had his head down.
Right.
The woman has her head down. Are you going to let that go? Or
no criticism whatsoever.
Okay, yeah.
She can do no wrong. That bad. Moving on to the Raptors now. They quietly have the second best record in the NBA. Makes them happy. You know what else makes them happy? The growing confidence in their chances of re-signing Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi's having a great season so far, which is why it's being reported the Raptors believe he might actually stay in Toronto past this season. Vinny, could you possibly see Kawhi in Toronto next season? Because it was off the table, then it was on the table.
I'm counting nicknames here.
Yeah, no, I can't stick to one. I'm all over the Matt, V. I can't. Got me. You got me.
You've ruined her.
No,
You broke me.
I'm sorry.
Okay?
I'm sorry. No, could I see him there?
Yeah.
Yes. Because I see him leaving? Yes. Why? Because we don't know anything. Who is Kawhi talking to that's going to talk to us? Nobody.
Very short answers.
Like, here's the thing. The Raptors are going to believe that he could stay because he ain't telling them that he's leaving.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's kind of like, okay, we're putting him in the best situation. We're not forcing you to play. You're performing well. You're around good players.
Team's doing well.
We want to win. We haven't slandered your name in the press, anything like that. You're in a place where you can be left alone, and you're in a good city. I'm not a fan of Toronto, but I hear other people are.
Yes.
So I will just say that Toronto's a good city, and you have a chance to win. So unless you're the Clippers, I think the Clippers are the team in the driver's seat.
Ooh.
Unless you're the Clippers, not the Lakers, not anybody else, that's the only team I can see him going to. This could be the Paul George situation all over again.
Well, so this is really interesting for a number of reasons, but I want to start with the Toronto angle, which is if he does leave, they at least will be able to rest easy knowing we did everything right. We fired a coach, brought in a new coach, and it looks like that was, even though I really like Dwayne Casey, the right move. We were aggressive during the midseason trade deadline. We rested him to where he's played in only 54 games this year, missed 20-plus games due to maintenance. We are winning.
In those games, Nick, what's their record?
In the games without Kawhi Leonard, I know that they're still outscoring their opponents. I don't know what their exact
15-5?
What? Oh, in the games he's missed. I thought you meant the games he played. I apologize.
Yes.
You know, 50. You're 100% right.
And
so
I
they're able to
believe
win
that
without him.
That could be something that Kawhi, when you start looking at a San Antonio type model, I don't have to be out there, in the team and what they're coaching, the system is a good system. I believe that's a bonus. Not to cut you off, but I believe that's a bonus in seeing them have success and him not being on the court.
36-18 with him, and then 15-5, as you mentioned, without him. So they're able to win with or without him. Now, that doesn't mean he's going to stay.
Right.
But they have done everything they could do. And all you can do in life is control your controllables. And for Kawhi, this has been a case study. Now, part of it is because he's in Toronto, and we don't talk as much about that team. But it is a case study on if you don't want to add flames to a fire, deprive it of oxygen. Just there's no noise surrounding his future. It's all about his present team. But it is a case study on if you don't want to add flames to a fire, deprive it of oxygen. Just there's no noise surrounding his future. It's all about his present. But the other thing you said that I think is interesting is you basically said cross the Lakers off. That the Lakers are not a real possibility.
I don't think so.
Kawhi.
I don't think so, because I think you're going to have a hard time convincing him to go play with LeBron in that fishbowl. Not necessarily LeBron, not necessarily the Lakers, but the combination of both. You just said he likes being left. If he likes being left alone, the Lakers ain't the place for you. Playing with LeBron ain't the place for you. And then the other thing, the one thing we do know from Kawhi is that he does not like being blamed for things that he doesn't have control over. His body and that injury.
That almost ruined his reputation last year.
Because everybody believed in the Spurs and the Spurs model of 20 years that Kawhi, you're wrong. Kawhi, you don't want to play. Kawhi, something's wrong with you. And because he said nothing, he was automatically guilty.
Okay.
Now, when you play with LeBron and you don't win, you're guilty.
Reportedly, the Toronto pitch is going to be trust, familiarity, chance of winning a title, and money. So besides location and hometown, what can LA offer that the Raptors can't for what would make someone like Kawhi Leonard happy?
Well, I'm just going to tell you, I believe Toronto has a very special situation, and they do have the salary. He can get more money there. But I think Nick really showed me something. And there's something out there on the internet right now, and it has Magic Johnson and Jerry West, and has these videos.
Basically what they do is it's a mashup of Magic and Jerry's comments about the same style of play, type of players to go after, the value of free agency versus the draft. They've each been asked these types of questions in different settings, and it shows Jerry West's answer, and then Magic's answer, and Jerry West's answer, and then Magic's answer. And it might as well be a jugs competition showing Chris and me. And it's like, oh, this is the perfect way to do this. And then, oh, this is the opposite of the perfect way to do this. And so, the point being, what the Clippers have is Jerry West. Maybe the greatest executive in NBA history.
Yep.
He's certainly on the very short list. The other thing the Clippers have is Kawhi has made it clear money's not going to be the determining factor, or else he would have stayed in San Antonio. Kawhi has also made it clear to, I think, Chris and others, you know where Kawhi thinks they can win? Wherever Kawhi Leonard is.
Yes.
So I don't
think... Now, he don't say a lot, but he's emphatic about that.
He's emphatic about, hey,
as he should be.
Hey, Google my head-to-head record against everybody. Against Kevin Durant before he went with the Warriors, against Steph before they added KD, against LeBron, against... You go see how I've done against any of the other great players. And so the Raptors pull, if the Clippers had won 18 games this year, then maybe it would be different. But the Clippers going to win close to 50.
Well, here's the thing. What's the difference between the Raptors and the Clippers if you take Kawhi Leonard away? You have a similar front office organizational structure.
Wow, great.
You have stability as in the head coach. They just re-upped with Doc Rivers, who's done a phenomenal job this year. Jerry West and weather, basically. And if you're Kawhi Leonard, and I'm saying, I want to win, I want to maybe get to back home, maybe not home, LA, San Diego, whatever, but I want to get back there. I want to be able to win, and I want to be able to play on a team that has a chance to win, even without me. Like you said, 15-5. The Clippers are firmly in the 7th spot in the West and could go higher on a team that does not have a discernible great player.
Right, and one thing about Paul George that people miss, Paul George really thrived in Indianapolis, because he's a small town type of guy. He's not from LA, even though people say, you know, he's from California. It's more Northern California where things are totally different. Kawhi could create that same type of small atmosphere and still be in Los Angeles, but be with the Clippers, because there's going to be drama with LeBron. And if you watch this mashup that they have, Jerry West and how he diverts the attention from the players and from... That, to me, is the perfect match when you talk about personality.
Personality-wise, if Kawhi one day were to be a GM, he would have the public approach that Jerry West does. Now, just as far as they have similar sensibilities. There's one last point I want to make on this about the butterfly or effect of if Kawhi stays. If Kawhi stays in Toronto, do you think there are more teams this offseason that say, you know what, maybe we should go all in on Anthony Davis?
This team is going to go all in on Anthony Davis because they don't have a choice. You're not going to get a player like that unless you draft him.
It's for a year.
It doesn't matter. You put like this: if you're Masai Ujiri and Kawhi leaves, you at least got off of DeMar DeRozan's Supermax contract.
Right.
So it's worth it, and you got Pascal Siakam, and you got somebody that's there.
Even if it was for a year, maybe then you can go out and
maybe you make your first NBA Finals ever. Like you have other opportunities. But if Paul George was a one-year rental who stayed, and then Kawhi becomes a one-year rental who stays, there are going to be teams like Chicago that are going to say, I know Anthony Davis says he won't stay here. maybe he will, and that could change the Anthony Davis.
But you better have your house in order.
Absolutely.
It is a good point. All right, Vin, we'll see you later on in the show. Coming up, the latest sign that the Giants might stick with Eli instead of drafting a quarterback. That's next on First Things First.
Two things from that segment. One, the oxygen line, you stole that from Billions.
Billions.
You're
I did. I stole it from
such a
Billions.
thief.
I stole it from Billions.
Such a